I'm on the east side of Buffalo at the first Bangladeshi street food cafe to ever open in the city. So I'm trying fuchka, which is, I guess, the equivalent of what we would know as pani puri in India. So just zooming down here, this is a tamarind sauce. It's stuffed with potato, egg, also cilantro, other spices. There's also yellow chickpea in there. And then I'm also having a drink here. So this is lassi. Looks very similar to the lassi that I've had over the years. So this right here is a tamarind sauce. So the way this works is you sort of pour it, as much as you'd like, into the little fuchka, and then you eat with your hands. So they definitely have that crunch I'm used to. The tamarind sauce, I guess, has a tiny bit of spice to it. I asked for it mild. It just hits you about 5 seconds after. But this is really a street food. I've seen it in Jackson Heights, Queens. It's like an easy thing to get at lunch if you just need something to hold you over until dinner. The Buffalo Metro Rail is the local light rail train. There are 13 stops, the last 5 of which, the southernmost 5, are part of a fare-free zone downtown, all the way to Lake Erie. The trains run along Main Street, and they're an easy way to run up and down north and south when you're exploring Buffalo. When you're in Buffalo, you could feel a bit like you're in a Canadian city. So Tim Hortons is everywhere in Buffalo. There's even a statue of Tim Horton, the hockey player. Although most of us think of Tim Hortons as a Canadian thing, he played for the Buffalo Sabres and he played his final years here. And the auditorium he played hockey in during his time was, I believe, on the grounds where this statue is right here. So Tim was not his real name, but you could cross the street here and there's a Tim Hortons at the Marriott. If you're looking for a 360 view of Buffalo, head to City Hall before 4 o'clock, go through the security screening, take the elevator up to the 25th floor, and you'll have a 360 view from over 300 feet high of the city. So it's a little bit tight up here, but you are protected from the wind by these screens. And then you can see Lake Erie off in the distance. And this is a great place to watch the sunset on Lake Erie.
Thank you.
Now I'm at Yali's, which is a West African restaurant in Buffalo, and I'm having one dish that I've never had before. So this is peanut soup. I think it's sometimes called peanut butter soup. That's fufu in there, which is like a pounded yam that you eat with your hands. I've had that before, just not the peanut soup. And here's a dish I've had several times. This is called jollof rice. You see the rice, not quite a pyramid, but it's well stacked. Getting it with chicken, that's how I've always had it. And this one here is called red. It's beans, egg, and this is another one I've never had before. It's vegan if you remove the egg. And then there's like a huge side of plantains that's enough for 3 people. So I remember that you eat fufu with your hands. You sort of put your hand in there. It's very gooey. Take a look there. And then you just kind of dip it in, and in your mouth it goes. So this is what your hands are going to look like when you eat this dish the way you're supposed to. So it's peanut soup, but it doesn't have that sweet peanut butter taste. What surprises me about it, though, is that it's a little bit spicy. There's no added sugar, but it's coming from habanero peppers. And I mean, this dish is really enough for 2 people. So the jollof rice is 2 large chicken drums on the bone with a huge serving of rice. Theodore Roosevelt was sworn in as the 26th President of the United States right in this room on September 14th, 1901. That table there is right about where he stood, and we're in the Allentown section of Buffalo. Well, tours of the downstairs are guided. The second floor is self-guided, and you can sit in not an original, but the closest you're probably going to get to the president's chair. And you can even press a button on here, make important decisions, and you can also get a picture of yourself in the presidential desk with the camera up above. The Buffalo AKG Art Museum is the 6th oldest art museum in North America. So this is an Andy Warhol painting, beef noodle soup cans. There are 100 of them. If you look closer, you'll see that they're not all the same. And supposedly this was Andy Warhol's lunch every day. This is the sculpture court.
Wash out mud, man. Special splash. Happy horror. Someone got picture. Send a replayer. Yo, yo. That's trick. Kick pop. To the back pop. Do the trick. Kick pop.
Almandi is one of a handful of Yemeni restaurants in the Buffalo area. So I'm on the east side of town, and I'm about to try this lamb soup. First thing I'm trying, and this is called marak. And then there's also a whipped fenugreek. It looks like yogurt, but it's non-dairy. I'm gonna try some of this in the soup. So this soup, I remember it from Columbus, Ohio. It has a little bit of spice to it. Now this next one is called selta. So it's topped with the same whipped fenugreek. This is the vegetable version. There's also a meat version which would have lamb in it. Okay, so this is made in a tanur oven. I just said tanur, that's right. So then this, you could dip it in a few different things. So I'm gonna try it in this. Bread is a really big thing. I've never been to a Yemeni restaurant and not had bread, even in the morning. And this is good enough that I would actually take this bread home and put it in the toaster oven for like 30 seconds and have it again for dinner tomorrow night. And this is cheese sahawak. So this is something, I've been to a few Yemeni restaurants before. I've never had this. This is good to put on your rice. And it's kind of like pinkish, if you take a look right there. Now, mandi is a cooking style. And I came here expecting to like the chicken and the lamb the most. But what actually ended up happening was the salmon was my favorite. There's also a fish. And I want to point this out right here. This lamb is so tender and delicate, it just comes right off the bone. You could use a plastic fork and eat this lamb. So look how delicate this lamb is. So I've tasted 8 different things here, 8 different savory dishes. Now it's time for something sweet. So this is heavy cream, honey, black seeds, and there's dates, and then there's, I believe, crushed up bread. Take a closer look. Yes, exactly. This almost looks like banana bread. If you take a look closer, I'm sure that's not what it's going to taste like, but it kind of looks that way. This is really interesting. So it's creamy from the heavy cream. It's sweet from the honey. And then you have a little bit of sweetness from the dates. And then you got the bread. And this is something I've never tried before. And it's not overly heavy, so this is something I can handle after all I eat here. Thank you very much for watching. If you like this video, please subscribe. I got more trips coming up soon. I got Fort Lauderdale, Florida. I'm gonna be heading down to, or I should say out to Taos, New Mexico, hopefully early next year. And then I'm working on my first trip to Savannah, Georgia. And I look forward to sharing more videos with you soon.